I told Bubba yesterday that I'm an emotional guy, and that I'm gonna need more than a tissue. I'm gonna need a beach towel, because that's just who I am. First of all, I just wanted to thank Bubba and the Chancellor, and Bubba talked a little bit about it, but I wanted to thank you for giving me this opportunity and chance. That's just a big deal to me. I had always wanted to be here at Carolina. You know, growing up, I had always wanted to walk out of that tunnel. I always wanted to put on that uniform, always wanted to play for Coach Smith, always wanted to play on this floor, always wanted to get an education here. I wanted to be a part of this community. I wanted to be a part of this history. Being a part of this program was a big deal to me. My uncle was an All-American here from 74 through 77, and even though that I grew up right outside of Washington, D.C., the first time that I set foot on this campus, it just felt like home. This is where I wanted to go, even from a young age. Bubba touched on it a little bit. My experience in recruiting was a lot different than most of the guys that are currently on the team. I wasn't a McDonald's All-American. Headed into my senior year, I had 2 scholarship offers. One, George Mason, which was coached by Rick Barnes at the time, and George Washington, which was coached by John Custer, who was a former UNC player and a teammate of Uncle Walt. Virginia came in late, and I was interested in playing for Coach Holland and Coach Odom. But where I wanted to go was North Carolina. I remember Coach Smith and Coach Williams coming to my home for an in-home visit, and it was different because Coach Smith in my living room told me and my dad that he thought that I should go to George Mason or George Washington. He didn't think that I was good enough, athletic enough, quick enough to be able to play right away at Carolina. And he felt like, one, if I went to those other places, I would have a better chance to play. And then number 2, because of the relationship, the great relationship that he had with my family, he didn't want that jeopardized because I didn't have the same type of experience or success that my uncle had. And I remember at 17 years old telling Coach Smith and Coach Williams, you might be true. You might be right that I can't play at this level, but you wouldn't know for sure unless you gave me a chance, unless you gave me an opportunity. And then I also told them I wanted to come here. This is where I wanted to get my education. This is where I wanted to get my degree. And Coach Smith and Coach Williams left my house, and I did not get offered. And I thought my chance and my opportunity wasn't going to happen. And then 2 days later, Coach Smith gave me a call on the phone, and he says, I thought a lot about what you said, and I'm going to give you that chance and that opportunity, and I committed to Carolina on the spot. And because Coach Smith and Coach Williams gave me that chance and that opportunity to come here, everything significant in my life has happened here. This is where I played basketball. This is where I got better. This is where I went to school and graduated with a criminal justice degree. This is where I met the best friends of my life here. This is where I became a Christian. This is where I fell in love with my wife. This is where I bought my first house. This is where my wife and I got married. And in 2004, when I decided to retire from the NBA, we could have lived anywhere we wanted to in the country. And my wife and I decided to raise our 3 unbelievable, beautiful children here in Chapel Hill. You know, the last 9 years coaching under Coach Williams, it hasn't been a job at all. It's been missionary work. It's been an act of service, and I've been so honored and privileged and appreciative of being able to be in this role and being able to have a front row seat to help these kids out every day, be the best that they can be on the floor, the best in the classroom, and the best off the floor, so that whenever they leave here, they're ready to go out into the real world and thrive. 9 years ago, Coach Williams gave me another chance and an opportunity. I was working with ESPN, and out of the blue, Coach Williams asked me to be a part of his staff. I've never told Coach Williams this story. Every time that I played, whether it was high school, college, and the NBA, when I ran out of the tunnel, I always looked for my dad. I just needed to see where he was sitting, and I just needed to make sure that he was in the stands. And the reason being is because irregardless of what happened on the floor, whether I shot the ball well or played well or I didn't play well at all, it was just comforting to me to know that I had at least one person in the stands, irregardless of how I played, he was on my side. That's the way that I felt about Coach Williams. Every time that, and he doesn't know this, every time that he walked through the office, I took a deep breath because I just felt settled because everything was going to be okay because Coach Williams was there. He's the greatest coach that I've ever been around. The time that he was here, he's the best coach for this university. He's the best coach for this team. He's been the best coach for this university and the best coach for this community. And I absolutely love him to death. And I'm so thankful for just giving me a chance and giving me an opportunity. I can't believe that he's here today. I was doing some interviews and somebody told me that Coach Williams was in the office, and I wanted to get all those interviews done because I just needed to go see him. And I just needed to be around him. I just needed to talk to him. I just needed to be around him. Seeing him connects me to Coach Smith and Coach Guthridge, and his presence and his love for this university and this program and what he embodies as a person is something that I have enjoyed and going to miss being around every day. Over the last 3 or 4 days, my phone's been ringing off the hook. There's been a lot of text messages and phone calls and emails, and it's been crazy. But the things that I've really enjoyed, all these text messages and phone calls and emails, they've been so supportive and encouraging. It's just great to have people walk alongside you and just genuinely on your side. I wanted to share one text that I got that immediately brought me to tears, and it was really special to me. Right after Coach Williams had his retirement press conference, one of the first people that texted me was Coach Larry Brown. I played for Coach Larry Brown my last year in the NBA with the Detroit Pistons. And it was the last year that I played in the NBA, and I still felt like that I had some gas in the tank. And he didn't feel that way. And we had a disagreement. I felt like I could still play, and he didn't want to put me in the rotation. And he had every right. He's an unbelievable coach, Hall of Fame career. Towards the middle of the year, I requested to be waived, and I was waived, and I was picked up by the New Jersey Nets, and that's how I finished my NBA career. I had not spoken to him or seen Coach Brown since then, and I just always felt like Coach Brown didn't like me. After Coach Williams did his retirement press conference, he texted me and said, "Hubert, I just wanted to let you know I would love for you to be the next head coach at the University of North Carolina." And that Coach Smith, the idea of that happening would put a smile on his face. And I just immediately started crying. I gave the phone to my wife, and I said, "Read this." And I said, "I thought he didn't like me." And to me, that's just the perfect example of what this place is all about. There's so many people that use catchphrases and different words to describe the togetherness and the closeness of a program. North Carolina is the standard. There's nobody that has family, nobody that's an example of togetherness and family than here at North Carolina. This is the first time that I saw my dad in over a year. Because of COVID, he just didn't feel comfortable leaving home. And I haven't seen him in over a year. And when he found out that I was going to be named the head coach of the University of North Carolina, he said, Hubert Jr., I got my second shot. I got to be there. He's always shown up. He's always shown up for me. He's always shown up for my sister. He was always at my games. He was the person that I looked up in the stands and knew that was genuinely on my side. And at 50 years old, he's showing up today. And that's what this program is going to be about, and it has always been about. We're going to show up. We're going to show up. We're going to show up to shoot around. We're going to show up to practice. North Carolina is going to show up every game, every day, every second, every possession. North Carolina will be there. And so I want to thank Bubba.